What are animatronics? Well, don't go away, because Showtime Extras has all the answers to your mechanical alien questions.
The aliens in Species 2 may resemble a nightmare come to life. But in reality, they are a remarkable blend of high-tech animatronics and state-of-the-art computer graphics. Producer Frank Mancuso Jr. explains.
I really made a very conscious decision early on to try and do this with more animatronics and prosthetics than we did the first movie in. Animatronics are real three-dimensional creatures that are moved by a series of mechanisms, whether it's people, puppeteers moving the creature, or whether it's radio-controlled electronics that blink open eyes. You can make things look more real with animatronics. You're putting the lights where you want them to be. You're putting the slime where you want it to be. You're putting the character that it's interfacing with where you want them to be, so that they can actually engage in a physical way, as opposed to an actor acting with nothing and then you put everything in afterwards.
To breathe life into the aliens, Mancuso turned to award-winning creature and makeup effects artist Steve Johnson.
My basic responsibilities really on Species 2 have been to design and create all of the effect sequences on the film, taking it from the original script with Frank and Peter, developing concepts with them, working with all of the other departments, including the digital department, and ending up getting this written stuff on the screen.
Johnson's creatures were based upon the original Species aliens, designed by world-renowned artist H.R. Giger, creator of the monster in Alien.
But what we're doing is we're not, for instance, creating one character as a physical animatronic and one character as a digital character. What we're doing is we're blending the two in the same shot. What's exciting about this thing is it can walk on all fours and bound along like a tiger. It can even jump about 10 feet. But it can also rear up and stand on its hind legs, which makes it incredibly tall.
There are probably going to be 10 people involved in moving that creature every step that it takes, between the person inside of the creature to all the people that support moving this thing and making it feel as though it's moving, effortlessly. I mean, that's a lot of energy and that's a lot of time. But ultimately, when you walk off the set, you know what you have.
Tying all of these aspects together was director Peter Medak, who worked closely with Mancuso and Johnson.
We'll go and shoot it, and I'll direct it, and Steve is there. And it's something where we desperately need each other.
Medak's creative vision was inspiring, even to a sci-fi veteran like Natasha Henstridge.
He's so visual, and he's got such a sense of the characters. He goes, "Trust me, darling, trust me," And he looks, and then you go back and you look at the monitor and you realize what the camera just did and what you did and the timing that he gives you. And you're like, oh my God, that looks really amazing. Really cool idea.
But the challenges of working with such complicated special effects were apparent to both cast and director.
There's still a trial and error, because things work and then things don't work. And then you have to figure out, well, if that doesn't work, then the only thing to do is X. And you can't come up with it until you actually do it.
When you're dealing with effects, the actor's secondary. The effects guys are the primary focus of everybody in terms of making sure the effects. It's actually the one time where you sense that the director's actually not watching you. He's watching the tentacle or the effects. So you're really on your own, in a sense, in terms of your performance.
Working with monsters and creatures is really different. I've never done that before. This is a first for me. I'm usually the guy who works with great actors. I've been fortunate in that way, but I've never done a great monster movie, and this is my first monster movie. It happens to be a really good one.
Basically, if the effect works, that's the one they're going to use. So you better make sure that you're on the ball when they're on the ball.
While Johnson's gory effects offered quite a change from the actor's previous films.
Messy and vaguely erotic. In a kinky sort of way. I mean, it isn't very often that you get skewered by another man through your stomach by a tentacle which comes out your throat. But there's a lot of goop that goes along with it, a lot of blood, most of which seem to go down my pant leg, which is also an interesting sensation.
Quite an experience for both cast and crew of Species 2.
Natasha Henstridge's screen career has blossomed as a result of her portrayal of the alien in the Species movies. However, before the latex and goo of Species, Oil of Olay, Lady Stetson, and Old Spice graced her stunning features. That's because Natasha started her career as a successful model at the tender age of 15. She was recently voted #1 of Sci-Fi's Sexy 50 by Femme Fatale magazine. Up next, Jack Frost. But first, take a look at Matthew Broderick and Jean Reno in Godzilla.
His eye is as wide as this tunnel. His tail is as long as this building. And his breath... If you thought New York was a tough town, just wait till he starts having babies. History shows again and again how nature points out the folly of man. Godzilla. Premiering June 19th on Showtime.
This week on Showtime Sci-Friday, catch an all-new episode of Total Recall 2070. When corporate terror strikes.
We have yet another death by spontaneous combustion. For the victim, CEO.
One man must fight the machine. Catch an all-new episode of Total Recall 2070 on this week's Showtime Sci-Friday, starting at 10:45.
She was a small-town girl with big dreams until a mysterious encounter.
You thought I was trying to kill myself?
You weren't?
I was going for a swim.
Proves anything is possible.
Do you believe in
mermaids? Oh. The ocean's pretty weird.
And everything...
You want to see something that human eyes have never seen before?
...is about to change. Hume Cronin stars in Sea People, premiering June 20th, only on Showtime.
For an inside look at a Showtime original picture, Showtime Spotlight.
This play is very much about men and the way they relate.
These characters are, you know, very politically incorrect in the 90s.
It's humanity at its worst.
It's a very powerful, funny evening.
It's classic American confrontation drama.
In 1972, a play about a group of unsavory, over-the-hill former high school teammates and their coach opened in New York to rave reviews. It went on to win both the Pulitzer Prize and the Tony Award. It struck a nerve with the public. Its raw, unapologetic characters gave voice to many of the hidden human weaknesses in all of us. Now Showtime brings to the home screen a memorable version of That Championship Season by Jason Miller. Paul Sorvino, one of the original cast members, plays coach and directs a distinguished group of actors.
Hey, recognize this? The game ball from '78.
4 high school basketball champions of 20 years past and their coach. They have an annual reunion. They live in the small town of Scranton. Their lives are filled with small town politics, sexual betrayal, avarice, greed, bigotry.
Oh, can't get the rhythm going without Martin. But it's still there. All we need is some practice. James.
We will not see them to be villains at the end. We will understand.
They all share this one great thing, and that is the greatest moment of their lives. And they graduate and life begins. You know, the fantasy is over. Life begins, and they never achieve that shining, glorious moment that they had.
Gary Sinise, I need not tell anyone, is a master who happens to be a star by virtue of his extraordinary work. Why, Tom, physically he's right for it. And Tom, being the soul of the play, had to be a person of essential goodness, essential morality, and the ability to be frail without being pathetic.
Never less than success. Pay the price. Get yourself a name. Well, I did. I really did. I fell on my ass in 10 cities. That's a record. Here's my trophy.
He's a wanderer. He's somebody who drinks way too much, and he's trying to escape a lot, you know, of sadness and pain and dishonesty and some of that.
Terry Kinney, who plays James, is a perfect acting machine. I press the button, and he walks on, and is perfect in every take.
I am working my ass off for George's victory because I want a share of the spoils. I'm a talented man, being swallowed up by anonymity. I want my share.
His situation is that if he doesn't get what he wants tonight, if he doesn't plant the seeds for what he wants tonight, his life is sunk forever.
Tony Shalhoub, who plays the mayor, is a chameleon clown. Make you laugh and break your heart, too.
None of you know what goes on inside my head. Nobody knows. I can understand what makes a man take a gun, go up in a tower, and start blowing people apart. I know the feeling.
His enthusiasm and his sheer will, I think, are the things that carry him, because he certainly hasn't made it on his brains.
Phil Romano is the hardest role to cast. If you have a big, good-looking guy, that is helpful. Then you need someone who is a truthful actor and has got big emotions. And you're talking about Vincent D'Onofrio.
Look, Phil, if I wasn't your friend...
Oh, don't shit me! My money's made my friends. Without my money, in school even, you wouldn't piss on me if I was on fire. My old man's money. Everybody got laid in the back seat of my car.
On the surface, he's pretty flashy, pretty together guy. Underneath that, I would say he's a mess.
What made me think that Paul Sorvino could play the coach, I always knew I could play the part. I just loved the absolute straight arrowness of the guy and the beautiful speeches the author has given him to do.
Is this trophy a myth? See the names engraved on it. Look, don't grow old on me, boys. Don't lose faith. Don't get old on me. I carved your names in silver. Last forever. Never forget that. Never.
We are looking into their hearts. We are looking into their minds. And with the players that I've been lucky enough to have, we are looking at wonderful ensemble acting of the highest order.
Vincent D'Onofrio, Terry Kinney, Tony Shalhoub, Gary Sinise, and Paul Sorvino star in That Championship Season, a Showtime original picture. Premiering Sunday, June 6th, only on Showtime.
Here's a look at a brand new Showtime original series, Beggars and Choosers.
Welcome to the Poison Ivy, where TV types eat their hearts out with their special salads, and the rumors are hotter than the chili. You never know who you're going to see or what you're going to hear.
Cops who sing.
That's it, that's it.
This guy is a TV writer. He's been responsible for more unsuccessful pilots than Japan in World War II. He just wrote an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond everybody hated. He's a beggar.
Hello, Emmy.
You're my beautiful...
This is a major television starlet.
You're so cute. Oh.
She can buy and sell most of the people in this room over her gazpacho.
Okay, back to me.
Her Nielsen numbers are almost as big as her bra size.
Yes, I love you too.
Yeah, she's a chooser. This woman is a mid-level network programmer. She was just told if her big show didn't pull at least a 15 share last night, she'd be history. So while she anxiously awaits her fate, we're not sure if she's a beggar or a chooser. Beggars and Choosers, the new series that turns on TV. Premieres Saturday, June 19th, only on Showtime.
The Sundance Independent Focus. A look at what's new in independent film right now. In theaters, on video, and airing on Sundance Channel. Debuting in theaters this month, The Winslow Boy. Writer-director David Mamet's take on the real-life trial of a young naval cadet accused of stealing a 5-shilling postal order.
I suggest that the time has at last come for you to undo some of the misery you've caused by confessing to us all now that you're a forger, a liar, and a thief.
How dare! I'm not! I didn't do it!
And also in theaters, From the Land Down Under comes The Castle, a funny, heartwarming story of one man's fight to save his house and neighborhood from becoming part of an airport runway.
Sometimes you think they're going to land right on top of you.
The Castle took home the Best Original Screenplay Award at the Australian Film Institute.
We just picked a fairly simple narrative and just tried to fill it with as many jokes as we could.
Why would you want to go out to a restaurant when this keeps coming up night after night?
From the experts at Blockbuster Video, here's a look at what's out on video now. Writer-director Bill Condon tells the story of the last days of Frankenstein director James Whale in Gods and Monsters, this year's Academy Award winner for Best Adapted Screenplay, starring Sir Ian McKellen, Brendan Fraser, and Lynn Redgrave.
Why are you here? Let's get this straight. What do you want from me?
You wanted me to model, remember?
And also on video, 70s glam rock gets a makeover in writer-director Todd Haynes' Velvet Goldmine, the story of the rise, fall, and resurrection of a glitter rock idol, loosely based on the relationship between David Bowie and Iggy Pop. And on Sundance Channel, which continues to offer viewers the chance to see provocative films from some of today's most independent filmmakers, She Said Cinema, a month-long celebration of the contribution of women filmmakers, with 27 features and 12 shorts from around the world, and including a series of candid conversations with the filmmakers, hosted by author and culture critic B. Ruby Rich. Among the films being screened throughout the month is the world premiere of Trafe, a fascinating documentary about two Jewish lesbians who meet and fall in love at a Passover Seder.
There you go, girl.
And the world premiere of Me and Will, a smart, sexy road movie about two women who bust out of rehab in search of Peter Fonda's legendary red, white, and blue chopper from Easy Rider.
I guess we gotta go.
We gotta go. I'll see you around. Like a donut. Ciao, baby.
This has been the Sundance Independent Focus, a look at what's new in independent film right now, in theaters, on video, and airing on Sundance Channel.
What a couple of queens we are, Colin.
Yes, that's right. A couple of flaming queens.
He's a college student who'll do anything for money.
And I've been working 4 jobs just to pay my tuition. I'm good for one more.
But when a science experiment goes horribly wrong...
Your brain is trying to cope with heightened human perception.
Super senses.
Hey.
Oh, David Spade and Marlon Wayans.
Why don't you pull over to the nervous breakdown lane?
A tale of senses and sensibilities. Senseless, premiering June 12th on Showtime.
The Hoop Light, a new Showtime series from the makers of Homicide and Oz. Step out of bounds. Master P finds himself in touch and in trouble. Take a look at I Got the Hookup.
He's an enterprising young entrepreneur.
That's me, baby. I'm Mr. Goldstein.
Specializing in communications.
We gonna hook everybody up, baby.
When the hood gets wired, the chaos begins.
Who is this? Who the hell you think I am?
A tale of money, mayhem, and things too freaky to mention. Master P.
Sure is hard being a businessman.
I Got the Hookup. Premiering Saturday, June 5th. Only on Showtime. For an inside look at theatrical movies airing exclusively on Showtime, Showtime Movie News. Coming this summer, Showtime brings you Hollywood hits no one else has.
Truman? Truman! Truman!
Good luck to us all.
First, he's back, and he's better than ever. Godzilla.
He really is an animal, I think. And it's kind of sad because he's, it's not his fault, any of it, you know. He was made by us.
A very compassionate view on a monster of a monster, Matthew. But what was it like acting with this computer-generated co-star?
You act very afraid when the foot is about to come on you, come down on you. Over a bullhorn we hear pain, fear, and foot.
foot.
We did 3 takes of this. I'm like, I'm sorry, is it my pain? Is it Godzilla's pain? Is it my fear? Godzilla's fear? It was a little bit bizarre.
We would all crack up sometimes, particularly because the first AD would be yelling, you know, Godzilla is angry. Godzilla turns toward you. Godzilla steps toward you. And Godzilla nudges your automobile with his snout. You just try to take it seriously.
Something else you better take seriously is a comet the size of New York City, especially if it's headed straight for your planet, as in Deep Impact.
The plot is about a catastrophe coming from outer space that is going to impact on the Earth, and our need to prepare for that inevitability.
For the past 8 months, the United States and Russia have been building the largest spaceship ever constructed, the Messiah. This is the crew that will stop the comets.
Yes, we've got fantastic special effects. We have some of the more impressive works coming out of ILM. But really the focus of this film seems to be the human reaction to a possible end of the world, and certainly end of the world as we know it.
Time! Get the hell out of there!
I was going for the human story, the human drama. You know, if the world were going to end, what would you do? If the world were going to end, how would you live your life? What choices would I make today that, you know, I didn't make yesterday? What would I do if I knew I was going to die tomorrow? That's what this movie's about.
Next, it's all about Gwyneth. America's sweetheart first stars as a Brit in Sliding Doors, a movie that plays with the endless possibilities and what-ifs of romantic destiny.
As soon as you describe the story, everybody goes, my God, that was just like this time that, you know, I was on a train in Barcelona and I just got off the train for some reason, and, you know, then I had to wait for the next one and I didn't know why I got off the train, and then the doors opened and there was my best friend from California, and this, you know, everyone has their story.
I just couldn't help thinking if I just caught that bloody train, it would never have happened. I'd have been home ages ago.
Oh, well, you just don't want to go wondering about things like that, you know, if only this and what if that.
And sometimes they're really strange and sometimes they're really simple, but they think, you know, if I hadn't, you know, if I had picked up the phone before I left the house instead of just letting the machine get it, then I wouldn't have, you know, been early, and I wouldn't have gotten the cappuccino, and then I wouldn't have met my husband. You know, it's all those kinds of things.
So Gwyneth, what if you never co-starred with Jessica Lange in Hush, and what if you didn't win an Oscar this year?
I know when to admit defeat.
Hush is a psychological thriller about a romantic young couple.
Marry me. Is that a yes?
And a pathologically possessive mother-in-law.
Look, I know you want me to come back and work the place. Well, my work's in New York.
Well, now, why can't you just be sensible? Leave your life and your work and your friends and move in here with a controlling old woman?
Finally, what's the mantra for 2 Oscar winners starring in the same movie?
God said, you are most worthy.
From the leading ladies, it's on to the dueling men in The Mask of Zorro, a swashbuckling adventure tale starring Anthony Hopkins and Antonio Banderas. Showtime sat down with the 2 stars to learn the secrets of the fine sport of sword fighting.
I don't have the time to give you the proper instruction.
I have had the proper instructions since I was 4.
First of all, relax. Number 2, control. You're going to be on top of your opponent. You're going to see size. And number 3, and it's very simple, breathe. Breathing, as you normally do.
The most important thing to remember when you're involved in any sword fighting, I think, is safety first. Remove your vanity, tendency to show off, self-discipline, grace, and above all things, relaxation.
Let's go!
You know how to use that thing?
The pointy end goes into the other man.
If you start fooling around with a sword, you can kill someone. Because they're real swords, they're not fakes.
From the old world, Showtime moves into the future, to the prefabricated world of The Truman Show.
He was adopted in the womb, and by a corporation, and So they have basically recorded his life from the very beginning, even in the womb.
1.7 billion were there for his birth. 220 countries tuned in for his first step. The world stood still for that stolen kiss.
People rely on it. People rely on him to be the honest face, and or to be their missing child, or to be the child they never had.
But why didn't you just follow her to Fiji? His mother got sick, really sick. He couldn't leave her. He's kind. Maybe he's too kind. I can't believe he married Merrill on the rebound.
Christoph is the creator of a television show that's been running for 20 plus years, and he's what they call in the movie a televisionary.
The show has generated enormous revenues now, equivalent to the gross national product of a small country.
People forget it takes the population of an entire country to keep the show running.
Mm-hmm.
My character, Meryl Burbank, is a very ambitious woman, and the ability for this show to come off and come off well is her biggest aim.
Hi, honey. Look what I got at the checkout. Dishwasher safe.
That's amazing.
Finally, we asked Jim Carrey what he'd be like if his own life was the Truman Show.
If it were really the Truman Show, I'd go insane, basically.
That's our look at the Hollywood hits no one else has, airing this summer exclusively on Showtime.
The Beltway's coolest bar is back for another season. The Showtime original comedy series Lynx. Here's a preview.
Variety calls Lynx the most intelligent, black-centered series in memory.
Whoa, the press used black and intelligent in the same sentence? Somebody quick, get me Brokaw.
Lynx, starring Pam Grier, Stephen Williams, and George Stanford Brown. Definitely not your stereotypical comedy. All new episodes premiere June 13th, only on Showtime.
For an inside look at the Showtime original picture, Showtime Spotlight.
Bertram T. Cates, I hereby place you under arrest.
The American martyr was born this morning at precisely 8 a.m. Eastern Standstill Time.
1925, a quiet town in Tennessee is about to explode. At stake, a law against teaching evolution.
At the trial of the century, it's Darwin versus Jehovah.
For the prosecution, three-time presidential candidate and one of the world's foremost experts on the Bible, Matthew Harrison Brady.
I am more interested in the Rock of Ages than the Age of Rocks.
For the defense, the greatest legal mind in America, Henry Drummond.
Anyone in this courtroom has the right to think.
And serving as the country's eyes and ears, the notorious reporter E.K. Hornbeck.
I may be rancid butter, but I'm on your side of the bread.
Showtime Original Pictures presents The Clash of Titans, Inherit the Wind, starring Jack Lemmon, George C. Scott, Beau Bridges, Tom Everett Scott, and Piper Laurie. Inspired by the legendary Scopes monkey trial and real-life counterparts Clarence Darrow and William Jennings Bryan, the award-winning Inherit the Wind has been produced in 34 languages and has been running somewhere in the world almost continuously since its Broadway premiere in 1955. The classic 1960 film version with Spencer Tracy and Frederick March received 4 Academy Award nominations. What explains the work's enduring popularity?
I object. Is it possible there is something holy to the celebrated agnostic?
Drummond and Brady are great parts that attract the best of actors.
The text is excellent.
I think it's one of those stories that's for the ages.
Inherit the Wind, premiering Saturday, May 29th, only on Showtime. A famous writer looking for her equal.
Not so gently.
Finding him in someone else's husband.
You're in love with her. Aren't you? Aren't you?
A master manipulator who devoured those around her.
My mind's collapsing. I need to talk. Your wants, your needs, your emotions. That's all you care about.
A flesh and blood woman who lived by her own rules.
Lesser people could never accept it, but we are not lesser people.
And broke all the others.
You should have loved me! God damn you!
A
true story written by the woman betrayed, starring Helen Mirren, Eric Stoltz, Julie Delpy, and Peter Fonda, in the Showtime original picture, The Passion of Ayn Rand. Premiering Sunday, May 30th, only on Showtime.
Shaping our lives, shaping our time. American filmmakers share their visions in the 20th century. Here's a look. The greatest filmmakers of our time present the most provocative subjects of all time. The first television event of its kind. 6 feature-length films from Hollywood's top directors. With a personal take on the trends and transformations that have shaped who we are today. See your century through their eyes in the 20th century, premiering in June, only on Showtime.
From the creators of Fargo,
you're entering a world of pain.
the story of a bowler who's way out of his league.
I'm the dude.
Her life was in your hands.
John Goodman
You're being very undue.
and Jeff Bridges
They pee on my rug?
as the dude.
It's down there somewhere. Let me take another look.
The Big Lebowski, premiering Saturday, June 26th on Showtime.
They've got names like Allie, Felicity, and Susan. They're sweet, ambitious, earnest. In short, they kind of make you want to puke. Enter Billy Frank,
Trying to make a list of all the people I had sex with.
the antidote to the network nice girls.
It's hard to make a list when you didn't get names.
Sherilyn Fenn stars with Lynn Redgrave in all new episodes of Rude Awakening, an original series too risky for network TV, perfect for Showtime. Premiering Saturday, June 26th.
Coming up tonight on Showtime. At 10, he's been nipping at people's noses for years. Now he's going for their throats. The chilling thriller Jack Frost. Then at 11:30, leave your inhibitions behind and take a peek inside the naughtiest house in Hollywood, Beverly Hills Bordello. And at 12, catch the show written and directed with a woman's touch, Women's Stories of Passion. For more info, log on to show.com. Tonight, it's Showtime.
The following movie is rated R.
Uncle Henry, tell me a story.
No, it's late. Go to bed. Santa will be here soon.
No, I want a story. Please.
All right, all right. You want a happy story? Or do you want a scary story?
I want a happy, scary story.
Happy, scary story.
Yeah.